Welcome to the Porn Reboot podcast, where you get practical tips to gaining control over your porn or sex addiction. We help ambitious men end their out-of-control sexual behavior with pornography, sex, and masturbation so that you can maximize your life, perform at your potential, and remain in control in the driver's seat, which is where you have to be in order to gain or maintain the success you want in life. I'm your host, J.K. Emezi, certified sex and porn addiction recovery coach. Welcome to the episode. At Porn Reboot, we believe that compulsive sexual behavior needs to be tackled in a holistic way. We address not just your habits, but any traumatic events that have impacted you in your life. We also address co-occurring disorders, addictions, and habits, as well as limiting beliefs. So in order to best serve our clients, we've curated and brought together some of the best professionals in their fields to coach and support you through your reboot journey. In certain episodes, we'll be sharing some excerpts from our coaches' sessions, and I hope that you find these helpful.
Hey brothers, how's it going? I have here Lamar from the implementation, and he's willing to share his wins and experience so far in the program. So Lamar, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and actually how you came across the program, if you don't mind sharing?
I'm Lamar. I'm 25 years old, and how I came across the program, I was at a point in my life where something had to change. I have a family. I've couple little daughters, and the life I was living was not who I wanted to be. It wasn't what I was behind closed doors, was a lie to myself to be what I wanted to be outside of to where I was with people. So I started doing some research, and with my research with the accountability and what I had with what I did, the research I really liked when I came across elevated recovery.
All right, brother. Thank you for sharing. And I know you've been with us for a couple of months now. And so what was it like coming into a program like this? What was your first thoughts and experience?
First thoughts is, the addict part of it is, I can do this myself. And to realize that willpower isn't going to be everything. And to get into the program, just do it. Do the modules, watch the videos, take notes. And with the experience that I have is the addict part in yourself is going to tell, oh, you can get it yourself. But if you take the time and you invest in yourself and just doing it is once you start getting past that point, to where you can, with your dialogue, you can tell your self-addict is, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Nice. All right. So what has been working for you in regards to, like you say, you watching the modules and learning about your addict side? So what awareness did you build? What was that one thing that was like, whoa, I was doing this unconsciously and it kind of improved because of that?
One of them was the self-dialogue, and to get to know what you're thinking and why you're thinking it. What are your triggers? And then if you sit down and you start, writing, or you have that thought and you recognize that you have that thought, and you start to realize, okay, so why am I having those thoughts? And to be able to start recognizing those thoughts and, okay, so why, what's causing that? And then identifying. What I found out is there's always a deeper issue to what's causing those thoughts or those urges.
Okay, nice, man. So pretty much building that awareness of not identifying with your thoughts, just looking at it from a outside view, which that's a really positive win, man. That's something that we could get stuck in the cycle, believing that we are our thoughts. And in reality, it's just something it's a habit, right? We just believe what we think. So that's great, man. So what other wins have you been experiencing as a result of applying the system?
One thing, the feelings exercise has been great for me. Sometimes I struggle doing it 3:30 in the morning. So one thing that I really started pushing is doing it right after I come home from work. So I come home usually around lunch, and that's usually when I recognize that a lot of my urges are coming from. I come home from work, had a really stressful day at work. And so I come home and I just start writing my feelings down and identifying what's causing that. Because I usually, if I had a rough day at work, I'd come home, I'd go in the bathroom or whatever and do the thing. So I'm, to come home and to get what am I thinking, what's going on, the feelings exercise, and just recognizing I come home from work, being more communicative with my wife, just being social and making sure those feelings, if I had a really stressful day at work, making sure those feelings are died down till, because I don't trust myself. So I stay in the presence of other people to take me out of that situation so I don't have a slip or a relapse.
Okay. That's good, man. I feel like you're finding what works for you. And this is a way that you keep yourself accountable, right? If you're around
Yep.
people, that's like being being just present around humans just takes the element of being what's called selfish, right? Because this
All
behavior
right.
is selfish. So when you just give your, hey, just socialize, man, giving yourself is
Yeah.
sometimes what we need to do. So it's a way to actually connect too. So that's a really great
Yep.
win, brother. And what other areas of your reboot have improved as a result of controlling your behavior?
Just, I feel more free going out, meeting other people. One thing that I've really noticed is being able to just talk with other people, reading books. And I really had a hard time talking with other women, just normal conversation.
Yeah.
I'd be with friends of ours and I couldn't even, look at them. I thought, no, if I look at them, I'm objectifying them. So one thing that I've really noticed is being able to communicate or even just socializing to a point where it's not embarrassing or it's not awkward, and it just being able to talk,
Yeah.
eye contact.
Wow. So it sounds like less shame you're experiencing.
Yes, yes.
That's
No,
really good, man. That's actually quite one of the common good side effects, right? To say
right.
like I like to see the
Yeah,
humanness in people versus what am I trying to get from this person, right? Like
right.
mentally, right? Like you said, objectifying. So that is
No,
a really huge one, man. That's something that it doesn't drain you. You notice like when you're not doing that, it allows you to be again more present and listen
no.
and be like, oh, this person has a heart. Like, oh, not just a piece of ass.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
don't
that's
mean to.
true.
But that's like, hey, it's
No, that's true. That's
yeah,
definitely true.
nice, brother.
Yeah.
And so what other wins, brother, that's or areas of your Reboot capital that have been affected in a good way? I know you mentioned earlier, like you're more focused, you're doing other ventures. How's your emotional side overall? How do you feel throughout the day?
I've got a lot more energy. I come home from work. I feel usually I had to come home from work. I had to take a nap, or I had to take supplements or an energy drink to keep me going. I come home from work. I'm able to go through the day a lot, stronger, more focused. Emotionally, I feel more attached to my wife and my kids. I still feel that shame or whatever, what I was doing. To know that I'm taking action, to be more emotionally attached to my family, where there's no shame or guilt. I don't have that weight, and no, to come home from work, to keep on going, it's made a huge difference. Huge difference.
Wow, brother, that's I would say a good result, right?
Oh
Something
yeah.
that hey, like this behavior does rob us from our just being there. Like I think this whole
Yeah.
topic is like the present.
Emotionally, yeah, emotionally drained. It
Mhm.
definitely.
Awesome, bro. I really appreciate you sharing. So, what would you say to a brother that's watching this and it's like, hey, I tend to be like, work triggers me. I get back home, I do my thing, but I know I need help. Like, what would you tell that brother that's kind of was in a similar place that you were in? What would you tell that guy?
So, no, to reach out, even if it, those first couple months are a real struggle. and to, if you have an accountability partner, and that accountability partner can be a huge help, to reach out. It's shameful, those, it feels your self addict is talking to you to is like, oh, it's not that bad. And it is a struggle. The addict is saying, oh, you can get it by yourself, or what does it matter this time? But to reach out and, especially if you have an accountability partner, even just a text or something to where you can see your thoughts. Even if you just say to your partner is, oh, hey, I'm having these thoughts. What that does is that makes you realize where you're at, and you can take action from there. And to be in the presence of others, one thing that I've noticed is if I, even sit down and just start texting family members, hey, how's your day going? Or, it takes the presence or that self-talk. If you put that on others, then your self problems or that addict will, if you start, thinking about other people, then it takes the attention off yourself and your own needs.
Nice. No, thank you for sharing. That's really good. I would say, yeah, the more or selfless that you are and just just listen and give attention to another brother, that only helps and aids your reboot process. And it feels good. It kind of reciprocates in some shape or form. Not that we're looking for it, but it's more like,
Right.
hey, I know this is what I would do for someone. And as for myself, when I show that to others, it's a reflection of me. So that's really good, brother. I really appreciate you sharing that. So Lamar, I want to thank you for your time. I know it's only been a couple months and it seems like you've grown. And as you said, there's a bit of a struggle, but of course, it's a behavior that we had for a while.
Right.
There's always going to be that struggle, but it's not impossible, right? Here's proof that
Absolutely.
this work that you do, that you put in, and you gotta want it. Not, we can't save you, right? That's the one thing we say here.
Right.
You can't do that for you. But we have your support, right? You have the community's awesome. Of course, you have us Reboot Heroes and also JK and the coaches.
One thing I want to say,
yes, sir.
The more you put in, the more you'll get out.
Great way to end it right there. So, brother, I want to say thank you. And for those of you watching, thanks for listening to us here, and we'll see you in the next one.
I'm JK, your brother in this struggle. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Porn Reboot podcast. I'll speak to you later on in the week. If you found this episode helpful, here are 4 ways I can help you with your out of control sexual behavior for free. The first way is to grab a free copy of my book, Confessions of a Porn Addict, 7 Secrets of Porn-Free Men at elevatedrecovery.org, or visit the link in the description below this episode. The second way is, if you're not sure where to start, but you'd like to learn more about my team and I, if you'd like to spend time with like-minded professionals and business owners who are controlling their behavior, then join our free and confidential group, the Porn Reboot Group on Facebook. There's a link to join in the description below this episode. The third way is, if you need help right now because you have a burning issue, your behavior with pornography is hurting you mentally or emotionally, you're about to lose your relationship, you want to live up to your potential, be an authentic man, and free yourself from shame, guilt, and underachieving, then click on the link in the description below this episode that says free coaching call. And the fourth way is to leave us a 5-star review if you enjoy this podcast, so that we can reach more men who are struggling in silence and bring back the lessons we learn from coaching them to freedom.